Um, we'll go ahead and put it up on the website so that you guys have all the information for a later date. Okay, so before we get started with plans for next year, I just want to be very clear that nothing is set in stone. We feel like it's best to move forward as if everything is kind of where it is now and nothing's going to get better, nothing's going to change. If things do get better, if things do change, we can always pivot on a dime and have more traditional type events. We are moving forward at the moment as if things aren't really getting better, so that no matter what, your dancers have something to look forward to, and we can move forward as a community and start planning and getting going on things. So the first thing are our dates. So we are pushing back the competition season to start mid-February. So hopefully that will help you guys get more time to get things together. It will be a condensed season. So we'll start the first competition there February 13th, and then we'll have 5 weekends back to back, a 2-week break, and then nationals the very, very last weekend in March 26th through 28th. So hopefully that will be helpful to you guys. I'm assuming a few of you might have questions about, could we push it back even later? We did look into that option, and unfortunately we're not able to do that on our end for nationals. So we kind of thought if we could just condense it and move it to mid-February, at least that will be helpful, since most of you guys can't meet until it's looking like December. Structure of the competition. Again, if things magically start to get better, we will remove these restrictions, but we're going to move forward as if nothing is getting better. What we are planning to do is have you guys come in and out from the space, one group at a time. So there's no contact with any other dancers. The competition is completely contactless. If your admin is worried about coming to a competition in a different county, you will not even have interaction with a WCE staff member. Your dancers won't have any kind of, be within like a 12-foot space of anyone. So what we're planning to do is give every team an assigned amount of time, depending on how many dances you guys have. We're asking that you come, pretty much performance ready. Depending on facilities and how restrictions are at the time, we may even bring in almost like outdoor tents or canopies for your team, so you don't have to go in and touch something that somebody else touched. Even when we clean and sanitize, there's still, that potential for contamination. So we're going to bring in tents and canopies outside so your dancers have a place to change. We'll have you submit to WCE about 10 days prior your order of performance, your list of what's like your ideal list of what would be the easiest change-wise and, getting your team in and out. We'll have you come, you'll do your dances. We don't know at the moment if parents will be allowed to come in and watch. If they can, we will absolutely open that up. If they can't, obviously we won't be able to do that, but we'll get you in there. Your teams will dance, they will go, then the next group of teams will come at their assigned time, and then at the end of the night, we will do a virtual awards, either the end of the night or the next evening. It kind of depends as we see how registration goes. So, some cool things with that is your teams could get together for the virtual awards. You could kind of do something the next Sunday, like team activities, and then come together for the awards. So there's some cool things that can be kind of structured and planned around that. Again, if things magically change, lift, get better, we are happy to lift any of these restrictions. This is so we can just get you guys and your dancers on the dance floor competing in front of judges, hopefully a small audience if the parents can come in. Your parents are probably going to love this plan even more, just being there for 2 hours instead of 16. But so that is the plan for right now. For my host schools, we'll be reaching out after this and kind of going through and seeing, what dates you guys would like and things like that. We do understand that it might be an option that we might not be able to even have it at a school. And if that's the case, we're also looking into securing athletic facilities or hotels or different things like that. So they will have a venue to perform at. We're just asking for a little bit of flexibility. As soon as we know things, you guys will know, but this year is just wacko. So that is that. Any questions on that so far or concerns? No? Okay, sounds kind of good. Sounds doable. Okay, Ashley, do you have anything to add to that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. Oh, a few more people came in. Hold on, let me let them in. Okay.
Stephanie, I'm sorry, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you foresee having to limit the number of teams that register for a particular regional to make sure you can give a time block?
Yes, that's a really good question. I think so, yes. Yes, so as registrations start to come in, we might open up another city on the same day and let you guys know, kind of like we've done in the past, like, hey, this registration is really full. Would you rather come here? Maybe the city we open up is closer to you. That's a really good question. Yes, we'll be flexible in that regard. Anyone else? No? Okay. Yes. Yeah, Audrey.
Are we going to be keeping it only on Saturdays, or are we going to do 2 days? Like,
the plan is only for Saturday. That's the plan, just to kind of give you that Saturday and not go off too much.
Will you repeat that February date? That it was the first February date?
February 13th. Okay, so a few things that we are adding this year. A couple of coaches have come to me and let me know they're concerned about larger routines, that when they get back together, not having the space to facilitate all their dancers because of different restrictions or guidelines within their school. We don't know what's going to happen. So we're adding a few things that you guys might be excited about. So for the duo trio divisions and the elite or extra small divisions, we're going to go ahead and divide those into categories this season. So all of those will now be divided into lyrical, jazz, contemporary, and hip hop. So if it works out that you are nervous about your larger routines and want to do a dance with these 5 and then a dance with these 5 and then a dance with these 5, you're not competing against yourself if you're choosing different categories. So hopefully that will be a nice thing for you. Also with the duo trios, I know some studios are able to open, but schools aren't. So if dancers have different things from different places that they're dancing at, you can implement those with your dancers too. Just trying to give you guys more opportunities to get the dancers on the floor. Another thing we're adding this year is a student choreography division. So if you have any students that want to participate in that, and you know, that's up to your team how you'd want to structure that. But we will have a student choreography division, and the only, requirement there is that it is fully choreographed by one of your students on the dance team this season. So that should be fun. And, we're also just trying to give more opportunities for your dancers because they've lost a lot recently. So we're just trying to get them back in and get them back going. We are also adding a digital dance experience. So kind of like a competition, you're getting your critiques, you'll get the scores, but you're not going to be placed against each other. So you'll submit your video, and it's almost like a warm-up practice competition, just something to get you guys kind of ready, since it's nothing until December. So if you want to participate in that, you get feedback, you get a score, the judges give you the normal adjudications, all that stuff. It's just not going to be awarded with placement, if that makes sense. We will also be adding a few fully digital competitions as well. So in December, we'll do a digital solo competition. So if your dancers want to participate in that, we'll get going on that. We will also offer something in January and February that's fully digital. So our season isn't starting until February, so this would be before the season started. It could kind of be a warm-up. If some schools have really, really strict restrictions, this is still an opportunity for them to get going on the floor. For the digital ones, what we would like, just so we're kind of on the same page, is a still kind of camera from the judge's perspective. You can feel free to zoom in and out the way, a regular dance video would, but, we don't want like a cinematographic, like panning around the dancers kind of thing. But on that note, Monica from Valencia, I don't know if she's on here. I think she had
No,
to
she couldn't make it
that's
today.
right. She came to us with a really, really good idea. And we're also going to add a concept video category. So if you're dancers or if you're choreographers feel inclined to do something more artistic that kind of speaks to them, that seems to be really popular right now, that's kind of something that they can jump on. So we have a concept video category just for the digital ones, so for the video submissions. And the categories for that will be contemporary, hip hop, and open. So any of those 3 categories. Again, just something else if your dancers are feeling extra artistic and they want to submit for that, or you have choreographers that want to get involved in that, we'll do some stuff with that. Anything else, Ashley, with that stuff that you can think of that I'm missing? New and improved? I did want to share with you guys also. Sorry, did someone have a question?
Yeah, it's Allison. I have a question. When you go into competitions in February, will you still, if some schools are weird or parents, are you going to be offering a virtual competition in the same aspect as I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say, but it's
like
not
a real, like a competition where you're actually scored and placed.
Yes. But if kids are not allowed to go there for whether it's their school or the parents, but we could record, or is that only going to be before the February dates?
No, we are planning to do one in February also for the teams that cannot attend.
That can be virtual. Okay, cool.
Yes, absolutely. And again, I think the key this year is flexibility. So once we kind of see how registration's going, how, your administrations are handling things or allowing different things, we are ready to, if you need more digital competitions, we can do that too, So just keep us in the loop as much as possible, and then we're able to kind of help you guys out. I did want to show you guys, I'm going to share my screen with you. I don't know if any of you have worked with Gretchen before, but from World Strides, she does a lot of travel for our teams that come from different states for nationals. And I spoke with her the other day, and she's working really hard at creating these like virtual dance trips, or like a staycation. If your teams can't travel, once you go to the competition, maybe having like a fun master class somewhere, and then like renting bikes along the beach or something, and then s'mores under sunset, just trying to do things to build your team, since part of the competition day is usually so team building, and since they will only be there for a couple of hours, just adding different things to enhance your experience. She has some really, really good ideas around this. So I'm going to go ahead and post this on our homepage under downloads. And then if you guys want to talk to her about, maybe organizing some neat things for your team, some virtual experiences, or just experiences around here that maybe you haven't thought of before, because she kind of specializes in this stuff, she would be a great resource for you guys. Okay. And I think that's it for all the new stuff. Give us like 3 or 4 weeks to kind of get everything finalized with locations, and we'll try and get everything up on the website as soon as possible. Any questions?
There we go. Oh, she back? Nope, she's gone. All right. Well, I will keep going. Wait, is Stephanie back? Oh, there you are.
I'm here.
Sorry. Sasha was about to ask a question.
Can you clarify again what you were saying about the concept category? Like, what would be the difference? What's the difference between, like I know a lot of people already kind of do concept choreography. So what would be the difference?
I think it's not so much choreography wise necessarily. I mean, maybe there would be more of a storyline in there. It would probably really depend on your choreographer. But I think it was trying to create more of equity between the guidelines for video submissions. So you have your normal one, bird's eye view, gym floor, either in or out that way. And then the concept video might be outdoors, and it might be dancers coming in and out, having 2 people, and then you have 20 people, and then it's maybe different scenes. I don't know. But
Got it. Okay, so good. Okay, got it. That makes sense. So just more based on how you submit it.
Exactly.
Like just, okay,
Mhm.
perfect. That makes sense. Okay.
Anyone else?
Steph, I have a question. It's Kat. Sorry, my video's not on.
No, you're okay.
I'm driving. Like if in competition, if it's, say it's this option where it's just the team comes in one at a time, whatever, and there's like no spectators or parents allowed in, will there be any kind of like real-time link for the competition to like see them perform in real time?
Yes. So we will do a live stream of the competition, if that's
Cool.
And even if the parents can't come in, we're looking into doing that as well for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you thinking about doing soloists for the February live competition, or is that only the option for?
Oh no, it's everyone. Good question. Solos and teams.
Okay, what?
Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question about score sheets.
Yes.
Are you going to change any of the score sheets in regards to, say, large groups? We can't have the kids touch, so we might keep them very basic in regards to just doing windows, and then will formations or use of stage impact our kids when we're maybe in masks, or 2, we're very basic in regards to choreography?
Very good question. That will go a lot into our judges training. Masks, of course, would not affect you guys. And also, I mean, all of our judges too, we will really dive into this in our judges training, but they've also been through all of this and understand, and are just happy to see the dancers out on the floor. And that's a really good question though, in regards to staging and partnering and things like that. It's not going to be so much about that this year. It's about the cleanliness and
some teams probably are going to do that. I mean, I'm just going to be real. There are going to be choreographers and teams that just are going to do that, but then there's going to be people like myself who have crazy parents.
Yes, and
we are going to literally be doing windows.
Absolutely.
And I don't want my, is it worth it to compete if that's not you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So we've played around with this question a lot at WCE. Just do we create these restrictions, and hold on, let me admit these people. There we go. Do we create these restrictions, or do we more focus on how the judging needs to change for this season, and that it isn't about the staging and it isn't about those other things it used to be about? And we kind of decided that instead of creating additional rules on top of the rules on rules on rules we're all doing right now, it'd be best to focus on this with the judges.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Question kind of in the same realm of what Allison just talked about. So is there a possibility to, once you have your judges training, just to kind of go over this new kind of entity that we're experiencing, to communicate that like really accurately to all of us coaches, so that we know, like, we know, it's so hard to do rule upon rule, right? That makes total sense. But is it an option to communicate with us after judges are communicated with too, so that we know kind of
absolutely
how it would,
expectations? Yes. Yeah.
Expectations.
I like that.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to actually write that down. Okay. I think that's it. Ashley, do you want to dive into the other stuff?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. So next little thing that we're going to talk about is obviously budgeting and how we move forward. And for you guys as a team, this year, like we said, everything's just a little different, just a little. But going with the concept of, you know, dancers may be in masks, spacing and, you know, less touching and those kinds of things might be happening. This would be a great year for, and a way to help would be to, you know, recycle old costumes, take costumes down to kind of bare bone, where we're not going to necessarily be judging, you know, or figuring out how to work on the judging for all the different restrictions that each and every team is going to have that's, you know, unique and individual to themselves. If they have rhinestones or if they don't, if they're in just solid black leggings with a sports bra or a leotard and going that simplistic, like that's not going to be a big deal for us and for our judges. It's more about them getting out on the floor dancing. So a way to cut costs and to help you guys, one way is to either recycle or to, you know, take it back down to the basics, when it works, obviously, for routines that you have. Another helpful tool, especially if if we're coming in team by team, go ahead and just making one hairdo for your entire team. That way, one that gets everyone in for the day, everyone gets to compete, but we're not worrying so much about switching out hair and all of that kind of stuff. Pick one that's great and good to go. That way they all look clean and, you know, pretty and fresh and all the good stuff, but without having to worry about so many hair changes, since the time we won't have as much time for all of that. Another helpful tool could be, instead of bringing in a bunch of choreographers, kind of going more in-house, keeping local. I know a lot of people aren't in a place to travel and to do all those things. So, you know, kind of reaching out. Now we have that student choreography, you know, kind of experimenting with what you have in place. Last year, I know most of you got to compete most of the season. Obviously, nationals, unfortunately, we were very sad about, didn't get to happen. But another thought is to take maybe your favorite piece from last year that didn't get that final chance to be out on the floor, revamp it with your new team, taking some of those critiques that you've gotten from last year at your comps and trying to figure out how to make it a new piece, but kind of keeping true, you know, keeping the meat of an old routine and kind of seeing how that pans out, obviously with a new costume concept and new hair for your team and all that. So that could be another helpful tool. We love our prop category. We do. We love it. But this may be the year that if you as a coach don't love the prop category, but your parents love to build those fun props, you might be able to get out of the prop category. Or maybe minimize the sizing of your props to help keep the budget down. Some fundraiser options that we've found that could be helpful and handy. There's APEX, and if I say any of these wrong, I'm so sorry. But there's APEX, APEX fundraising. And that one, it brings like fitness and fundraising and leadership kind of all into one. So that may be an interesting one for you and your team to look at. There's Snap Raise, which I know has been around for a hot bit, but they're an online donation platform. And I know at some point I knew who the local Snap Raise guy is. So if you have any questions and want to get in contact with the local California rep, let me know.
Ashley.
I have a rep for Vertical Raise too.
Perfect.
I just had a Zoom with him. His name is Aaron Karp.
Perfect.
Like 30 minutes, so I can share his info with you, and then you guys can blast it out to.
Perfect.
Love
that. Yes,
Thank you.
I don't know if it's the same guy that was at Nationals one of the years.
Sure.
Sometimes they trade out a lot.
It's a really cool platform, though. I mean, it's so easy.
Most definitely.
All these ones that Ashley's giving you, they're all digital platforms, and they make it really, really, really easy to fundraise. So they're really cool. So I would definitely, I know some of us have teens that their parents are like, I don't want to fundraise. I just don't want to do it. But these are pretty effortless, and they can raise a lot of money. Sasha, you said you had one too?
Yeah, actually, it's the same guy Ashley's talking about that was at Nationals, Nick. He's with a company, same exact idea. It's called Vertical Race. So I'll just shoot you guys that info to pass on to everybody.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. I have 3 more, and these are just ones that we found. Obviously, we know there's a whole bunch more. If you have other ones that you want to share, just shoot an email over to myself or Stephanie, as we would love to share. But there's one, it's called Blast Athletics. It's basically, from what I get from it, you create a team app, and family and friends don't want to buy another round of sheets or trash bags or, chocolates or whatever, all the fun things that we sell. They don't really want that. They actually just want to support the kids. So this gives them an app that they can go on, they can put in the money, they can watch the videos, there's highlight stuff you can kind of keep. It looked really cool. So that might be another one that you want to look into.
Ashley,
yes.
just really quick, Blast Athletics is very similar to Snap, but you make a ton more money off of them. There's less fees. So if anybody is a Snap person, I highly suggest you go with Blast. My team made a lot more money off of it, and it's really easy.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you, Allison. Another one was Inspire World. You create a website, and basically it's like online purchasing for everyday products, travel, entertainment, and then you get money back from the purchases. So you invite people to purchase through. Looks really cool yet again, and it's more for like everyday items. And this last one is as well, which is called Flip Give. Same concept. Basically earn money every time you buy groceries or gas or takeout or home renovations, equipment. The world is your oyster. So those may be some good ones to look into. Some of them may be newer than others. If you guys have any great feedback, if you have a great contact, if you want to share any of that, just shoot that over to Stephanie and I.
In a
Yes.
couple of days, can you, just because we're taking notes and stuff here, but after you maybe get some feedback from everybody and names or whatever, can you shoot us just a mass email with these names again? That'd be
100%.
Yes.
Thanks.
Going back to costumes, another with recycling costumes, maybe some just through your team. Another great option, and a lot of people are doing it, is like secondhand costume sellers. So, reaching out to either studios or like costume places, or there's other companies that buy old costumes and then resell them for other people. So I have a list of these 2. These are just ones that I have personally in my Facebook, that either I know them or I've looked through their costumes. There's plenty more that you can check. There's one, it's Dance Dynamics costume resale. There's Prestige Dance Company costume resale. There's high-end custom, say that 10 times fast. High-end custom costume resale. Then there's just dance resale, costume resale, competition dance costume resale, and dance costume resale 2.0. Those were just quick ones that I found either in my feed or just typing in costume resale. Some of them are for solos, some of them are for groups. I know, some of them might, they may have 30, they might be able to just sell you 10 if you need it. Maybe worth looking into if that's an option that you're going for. And then also through Google, just typing in some, an old studio that I used to take at, they sell costumes every year. They're gorgeous. Maybe what you want may not be what you want, but they have some, and they do like a one weekend of the year, they do a big sale. I don't know if it's passed yet. I don't think it has. It hasn't popped up on my like little alert thing, but it's Priscilla and Dana's costume sale. Looking on Poshmark, sometimes you can find stuff. Pinterest, if some of them have links that you can actually click on. Encore, Encore Costume Couture, SS Costume Shop, the Dance Costume Closet, and eBay. So those may be some other just helpful tools in trying to keep costs down for you guys. Like we said, if you guys come in a black leotard and booty shorts or something that simple and basic, no one's going to look at you and judge what's going on. We're all in the same boat, and it is more about them getting to express all that they're taking and like bottling in right now and putting it out on the floor. So it's all about the artistry. It's all about just them getting to dance. Don't stress so much about costumes and making, spending all that extra money. Yes. I'm looking like you can see that I'm looking. Sorry.
Sorry, are you looking at me?
Yes, I so am.
I know Sasha asked about getting the sort of like talking points for the judges about what they are and what they aren't looking for.
Yes.
Do you know how soon you might be able to sort of like release maybe a mock score sheet as like we're creating routines, even if it's us in-house, just so we sort of know what things to emphasize and what things we don't necessarily have to put energy into?
Absolutely. I would say prior to September 1st, we'll get that to you guys.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, like that's a really good point, is right now we have nothing but time. You know what I mean? Like it's time, and then, oh my God, it's December and now we can be together and now I have to pop out these routines. This is all weird. It's all different. I'm a creative too. I like doing it on the spot. I like feeling what I feel at the time. And that is my concept and my vision for the dance. Maybe this year we can't be as creative. I don't mean creative, but as artsy in that way. And we have all this time right now. This is a great time to sit down, iron out what routines you're doing, who's in what routines, what music for each routine, what costumes are we going to have? Okay, can we start delving into the meat of the choreography, cleaning those sections? And then when it's just the few staging things here and there in December, if you already have your the meaty parts of your choreography and your costumes and your music, that's always like the last minute stuff, right? Is getting those edits or the costumes to all fit. Maybe it's kind of in reverse this year, just being extra organized in that way. So when December hits, it's more about just coming together and finding that staging. It's different this year. It's really different, but I think it's doable. It's just about that flexibility.